This video will cover how to use in-text citations to link to the works cited page using MLA guidelines. So let's take a look. First of all, the essay starts with the heading, which is the student's name, the instructor's name, the course name, and the date. The header, which is the last name and the page number, last name of the student. The title, notice, is centered. It follows the rule of always capitalize the first word, always capitalize the last word, capitalize all the words in between unless they're a preposition, a fanboy, an article, a, an, or the. So notice that the word of, on, the are not capitalized. Notice that the paragraph is indented using a tab key here. So the purpose of the introduction is to introduce the readers to the topic. The first sentence or two, depending on who you're talking to, should be used to engage the reader, catch their attention. The rest of the paragraph here should be introducing readers to the topic by not assuming that they understand the background information about your topic. And the last sentence should be your thesis statement, which makes a claim that you're going to prove in the body paragraphs. So here this author, Angela Daly, makes the claim that regulation is needed because drivers using phones are seriously impaired and because laws on negligent and reckless driving are not sufficient to punish offenders. So her goal is going to be to prove to readers that these two things are true under the need of regulation. Body paragraphs then start here. She starts with a main idea. No one can deny that cell phones have caused traffic deaths. And so here she proves how many deaths have occurred, essentially. And now we're getting into the citation process. So a signal phrase, which is written here, names the author of the quotation, but can also name the author of a summary. So the signal phrase is Morgan's mother, Patty Pena, reports. And then here's what they took. Here's some of the writer's own information. And then here's the quote right here. So a signal phrase introduces summaries and direct quotes. It's telling you who's saying this information or where the information came from. No page number is included, so there's no parenthetical at the end here because it was likely a web page. And web pages don't give page numbers unless they provide you with a link to a PDF file. In this example here, this is a summary. And so again, the writer could have said up here, best off states or best off explains or tells the story about a week later, corrections officer Shannon Smith, and so forth. So that's one option, is to put a signal phrase here. Instead, they opted for the parenthetical citation. A parenthetical citation states the name of the author where the writer Daly summarized this information from. So if we just look at those two things, we see that Patty Pena's in the signal phrase, and we see best off in a parenthetical citation. What these two citations do in the signal phrase and the parenthetical citation is they link the reader directly to the works cited page. That means we should see a best off as a first word on the works cited page, and we should see a Pena as a first word on the works cited page. So we flip down all the way to the works cited page here. We see best off, so we know that they've cited it correctly. So your in-text citations, your signal phrases, and your parenthetical citations need to use the first word listed on the works cited page, either in a signal phrase or a parenthetical citation, one or the other. We don't repeat them. Notice that this is in alphabetical order, and then we drop down very quickly and can see Pena. So those two have been cited correctly. When we move on to page 2, we see that this information. So I guess it starts up here. Starting here, all of this information right here came from this source right here, Stockwell. And Stockwell B8, so if I jump down to the works cited page, trying to not make it dizzy there, here's Stockwell, so that's cited correctly. The B8 is because newspapers are organized by A, B, C, D sections. And so this is B1 plus. So it's page B8 specifically. All right. As we continue then, again, as a writer, you have the choice of all of this information was summarized from Leighton C9. Here's a citation. It says, in a survey published by Farmers Group, that's a signal phrase. So you're doing a combination of things. You're either using signal phrases like this or parenthetical citations. Either way, the writer, you must, as the writer, indicate to the reader where you've gotten the information that you're writing. So whether you summarize from a source or directly quote from a source, you must provide a citation, unless the information is considered common knowledge. Down here, we have another one that says, in 1997, an important study appeared in the New England Journal of Medicine. The authors here, so this is all a signal phrase right here. It's introducing who the source is. This is why we should trust it, because it's an important study that appeared in the New England Journal of Medicine. Here are the author's name. So I should be able to take the first author's name here, Rettelmeyer, jump down to the Works Cited page, and see an alphabetical listing here. So you do that throughout your paper. For this essay that you're writing for the course, you're going to cite at least 8 sources. So 8 of the sources that you did annotated bibliographies for, you should use a summary or a direct quote from them and include those in your paper. If that doesn't make sense, be sure to send me an email so I can clarify. Notice that the Works Cited page is, even though this page ended here, which is page 6, it starts on page 7. So it starts on a fresh new page, but it's still part of the same document. The title Works Cited is centered. Notice it's not in quotation marks, it's not in italics, and it's not bold. So it's centered, but that's it, just Works Cited. They're in alphabetical order. This is called the hanging indent right here, which you created in your annotated bibliographies. This particular one right here is the old version. It's not the updated 2016 version, so it may look a little different. There's some variations, very slight variations, but they are variations. So don't use this as a sample for your Works Cited page in the sense of where the placement of things go. All right, so let me know if you have any questions. I'll send you a copy of this so you can use it as a sample paper. And good luck on your paper.